the first part about making an ice cream cake is your pan. And you need a springform pan. This was my first springform pan. That's all I had, so I was able to make my first one out of this when I figured out how to do it. Since then, I've bought these pans that are just amazing, that come off, pop off, just like a springform pan. So, but anybody can do it with this one. This is a reminder that you need to get your bottom back if you give it to somebody. But we came up with this brilliant idea to be able to put parchment paper on. So I put it on this one. This will be, I'm going to make 2 ice cream cakes today. I'm going to make one from, these 2 will be one recipe, or this will be one recipe. And then I'm going to do one in this pan. So you'll see that this equals this. So for the parchment paper, get a piece of parchment paper and make sure it's a little bit bigger than your pan. Oh, better do it on this one. Okay, take it apart, put the parchment paper on, put it back in, and once you have a springform pan, you can make cheesecakes with amazing cheesecakes. So there we have our springform pan put in, and then you'll just trim this size off, and there you have it. So we'll show you what we're going to put on. Okay, I just made up some cake mixes. This one is just a classic cake, and I put in one less egg in it just because I'm cheap and it doesn't matter if it's dense. And this, I didn't have a chocolate cake mix, so my daughter talked me into just making a cake, so I did that. But you just take your cake mix, and it's gonna do, when I only had one pan, then I just did half of it, cooked it, and did the other half. Took it out, and that was gonna be the top. So I have 2 pans now because I've made plenty of these and collected them. So you put it in, and it's not very much in it, so you just kind of smooth it out, and it's just a layer, almost like brownies or something. And you'll see that it's going to be uneven, and it doesn't matter. Now these 2 pans will make up, I need to put half of the whole batter in these. Since I don't have another pan this size, I'm just not going to put very much. This will be my top. And then I'll cook these, and then I'll do it again when these are come out of the oven. All right, we've got these out of the oven. I didn't put any Pam on, but you can put Pam on them. And we went around with a knife, and then you just lift this off, and this will be your top. So you can take it off from here, and went around with the knife, and just lift it off. I like to run those over water pretty fast so you can wash them. So these will be your tops, and then we're going to do the same thing on these. I've got the other big one in, and just put those back in. Okay, we have this, the ice cream has been out for about 30 minutes. And I've kind of just put a knife through it and cutting it. But you have to see this lovely, interesting thing. I actually put this thing on upside down. It fell apart inside of the oven, and I lost it, and then I have retrieved it. We're going to see what this looks like. So what I'm showing you is that it doesn't really matter. Okay, so we're going to take this ice cream and either up to this or up to a half a gallon, and we just kind of dump it in here. We might need to wait for this to melt a little bit more. You're going to be throwing this in the freezer pretty darn fast. But the whole idea is don't worry about the bottom. It's a cake. It needs to be really, really tight on it. So we are going to work at pushing it and smoothing it out. I'm chopping it up right now, and I'm going to be smoothing it out. So we'll show you when we've done that. See, I'm just chopping, and hey, even if you get into that cake, it doesn't matter. Try not to, but not a big deal. Okay, now we don't want any air bubbles in this, so we're just pushing it really hard. Just don't worry that it's a cake on the bottom. Just push, 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 push it. Then if you want to, you can put another layer of something on. I'm not going to this time, but I've done brownies, I've done Oreos crunched up, just a layer. I've done pudding. I've just thrown a whole thing of like raspberry pie filling on there. It's just a fun place to put something if you want to, but we're working on basic, and basic is just so good. It doesn't, no one even sees it, so it doesn't even matter if I reuse this piece of wax paper. Who cares?
Eddie texted.
So it'll look like this, and then we'll put this top on right here. So remember we have the top. We're gonna just put it on and smash it down. Then it's ready to go into the freezer. Overnight is preferable. 3 hours is minimum. Okay, so now this has been frozen overnight, and I'm loosening it with a knife. This is our one that we made the big mistake and turned it wrong side. We'll see how it worked. It is frozen. The paper came off in my little mishap accident. So I am just going to cut it off of here, because I might take it somewhere. Not too bad for that mess on the bottom. Okay, we have now taken our instant pudding, and how much ever milk it says, half it. This one says 3 cups of milk, I did half. I also, in my freezer, had some Cool Whip chocolate. I usually just use regular, but I haven't used the chocolate, so I mixed those together, and that is your frosting. If you want to add some more powdered sugar to it, you can to make it sweeter. The recipe actually calls for that, and the recipe is on quickandhealthymeals.blogspot.com, even though it's not quick or it's not healthy. It's just the only blog we have. So you just frost it real quick, and you can do as thin as you want. I'm going to use this for this cake and this bigger one. So we got the top going, and then we got the sides going, and then I'll throw it back in the freezer, and it's ready right now if you want it. But you don't have to, you can let it sit out if you want just a little bit, like normal ice cream cakes, but we usually just get it out and hack away at it. But my son has made them one night, and then I'll take it over to the school, high school and parking lot, and he'll come out and I'll meet him with some plates and forks, and they just hack away right there, and then it's gone. So there is you can decorate it all you want. Now remember, this is the ugly one, so any other one should turn out fine. Isn't that nice that we didn't throw it away when it turned out bad? Cute, huh? So I've just made the frosting out of pudding. You can use any kind you want. This one happens to be chocolate fudge. It needs to be instant, and whatever it says to put, this one says 3 cups of cold milk. I put 1.5 cups of cold milk. If it says 2 cups, put 1 cup, just half the milk. Then we'll use a Cool Whip. I happen to have this chocolate one, and I've never done that before, but it was in my freezer. I let it sit in the refrigerator overnight. So we mix those together, and it turns into this consistency, kind of just whole. It's kind of globby. And I would start with a little less milk if you're uncomfortable with it, and then add some more. So I have gone around and loosened it. I've already done that, and then I'm gonna open it and just pull this off. We're done with that. Then we do have a bottom. Remember, you can lose these if you let them sit on there. And we've got this lovely parchment paper that we can just rip off of there and just put it on our plate. So you can put as much on as you want, or you can, this could do 3 cakes easily. if you want to just put a little bit on. So you do the top first, and then you go down to the sides. Oh, this is a lot. So you could use a smaller package of Jell-O easily. And there we have our lovely cake. Our lovely ice cream cake. If you want to put more layers, like I said, you would have had to do that before it froze. Then you just smooth it out. And the Cool Whip pudding just makes it easier to cut and spread instead of the real frosting. So there you have it. Okay, so we used only one cake mix with this, and that would serve about 15 people. If you use 2 cake mixes, which is totally acceptable, that would be like 20 people or 25. So I did not want that much cake. We are going to cut it and do a little decorating stuff. I have it really, really plain, so you can say, oh my gosh, I can do better than that. And if you do, please email me at the quickandhealthycooking.blogspot.com, all spelled out, because we would love to post some really cute pictures. So here's just an idea, because it's Valentine's Day actually. So we could do the sprinkles, so you put those on and sprinkle it. But I'll cut it right now and just see how it looks. It's only been out less than 5 minutes. So here is our lovely, and remember how we had to like totally squish down that ice cream and it was so gooey, but that's how it looks. Let's get this white one here. Remember, this is the one that I kind of made the mistake on, but I wanted to show you that it doesn't matter. And I had one of my kids trying to eat the cake mix, but I started screaming at them and said, no, 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 we're gonna still have this. So but this little size, you could do like 3 of them with the cake mix, and it's such a fun thing if you have just a little friend. And this would serve like 5. But that's it. And see, that bottom is kind of crappy, but it looks fine. If you gave that to somebody, they would just totally love it. So let's just experiment on here and see. If it doesn't turn out, you won't even see it because we'll just cut this off. But if you did this right when it was like, before you put it back in the freezer overnight, that would be really fun. So we could just do all kinds of cookie cutters, and maybe I should have. See if that goes cute. Maybe the bigger one on that one.
Yeah.
But we're experimenting here. I'm sure that there are some really clever people out there, but I just wanted to show you the basics, so that's about it. So good luck, and I've had a lot of people that have done this, and like I say, my high school son did them, and he wanted a springform pan when he went off to college for his birthday so that he could make them at college. And he just has become the king of ice cream cakes. So, thanks for watching us. Please check out the recipe at Quick and Healthy Meals, even though this is not either .blogspot.com.